Welcome back to Scottish Rugby TV's coverage of the RBS Finals Day here at Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld. 3 winners so far today. We've had Highland in the first match against Glenrothes, then it was the turn of Preston Lodge who overcame Caithness, and then in the Sarah Beanie Cup Final it was Murrayfield Wanderers who beat Melrose. We're due to start the main final of the day, the RBS Cup between Glasgow Hawks and Heriots. That's about 5 minutes away, and I'm joined by Chris Patterson ahead of the game. Chris, sum up the day. First of all, we've had some very fast-paced games, particularly the Preston Lodge Caithness game, which was played at some length. What's been your view on the play so far today?
I think a success would be the first word to use. I think it's a fantastic facility, obviously. The weather couldn't be any better. And in the opening 2 games, we saw some real combative, competitive rugby between Highland, who came out victors against Glenrothes, and then Caithness, as you say, lost out to Preston Lodge. And within that game, we saw, quick start to the game, as usual, with the nervous energy and the atmosphere of a final, making players almost play above the level of performance they're used to. But then we didn't see a massive drop-off in intensity. That followed on right through the day, and watched both games to start, and then obviously the women's there with Melrose and Murrayfield Wanderers just completely exhausted by the end. But some high quality stuff, some great tries, a lot of tries scored from counter-attack. The games have been played quickly. That's probably as a result of the artificial surface, and also the weather and the endeavour that these teams have shown here in RBS Cup Finals Day.
Okay, well, we spoke to both clubs yesterday, and this is what they thought of today's game.
It suits both teams' games and things like that. It's nice and quick, and we've been training on it for the past few weeks and stuff, so it's good to get a feel on it, and just looking forward to it.
Does it make a difference to your game, the synthetic surface?
Obviously the game will probably be a bit quicker. Maybe at ruck's time placing the ball might be an issue, but I think it's just going to be good for an attacking style of rugby.
Okay, what kind of game are you expecting between the two of you? Because obviously you've faced each other during the league season, so what are you expecting tomorrow?
Well, I think the 2 games we've had have been fairly high scoring, especially the one just down at Golden Acre Pass. So I mean, we know that they like to attack, and we also do. So hopefully it should be like an exciting game, and both teams looking to score a lot of tries.
You talk about excitement. Can you sum up the excitement around the club, the fact that you're going to a final and a chance for a big club day out?
We're just buzzing down at Heriots, we love the cup, it means a lot to us, so we just can't get enough of it. We're waiting for Saturday, really.
That was Patrick Boyer of Hawks and Jack Turley of Heriots. If the first 2 games were pretty quick, this one's going to be very quick.
It will be. The added addition to these games are professionals as well, and Tyrone Holmes comes into the back row for Glasgow Hawks, along with Finlay Gillis and a hooker berth. And on the Heriots side, you've got Kevin Bryce, an EDP player at hooker for Heriots. He trains with Glasgow. He trains with Finlay Gillis every day, with Tyrone Holmes every day. So that'll be an interesting one to look out for. And alongside that, and the back line for Hawks, you've got number 10 Gavin Lowe, who's an EDP, Jack Steele, who's an elite development player with Glasgow. And then to the Heriots side, names worth looking out for. Murray Douglas, he's a fantastic second row, a fantastic line out forward. And Graham Wilson at number 9, we've got a wee general. He's played in finals before. He's kicked vitally important points in finals before, especially the time when the last time Heriots won the trophy. They kicked goal after goal in the final to overcome Melrose.
And one thing that you're usually certain of with these two is that you'll get tries. I mean, the Heriots, the kind of game they play, there's always tries on offer.
It's I think they're proud of their ethos that they score tries. That's the way they've always played. Anytime I played against them when I was playing club side for Gala, they would always run in tries. And Hawks were similar. They have both got young coaches, Phil Smith for Heriots and Jamie Dempsey for Glasgow Hawks, and the emphasis is on attack, which is great. And add that emphasis to the surface we've already spoken about, and we're hopefully going to get another quick game played at an incredible tempo and a lot of tries, as you say.
Yeah, remember you can also get in touch with us on Twitter at Scotland Team #RBS Finals Day. Tell us where you are watching this particular game. This is the RBS Cup Final between Glasgow Hawks and, of course, Heriots. And Chris, all right, I will ask you. I wasn't going to ask you to sort of tell us what's going to happen, but who do you think's favourites for this game?
Going into the game, my gut feeling is that Heriots would be favourites, but I think Hawks might sneak it in. Honestly, we've got the East versus West thing. So who knows?
Yeah, we're about just a few minutes away. The teams will come out here at the tunnel at Broadwood. This is the 4th game of the afternoon. As we said, the winners so far in the RBS Bowl, it was Highland who overcame Glenrothes. In the RBS Shield, Preston Lodge beat Caithness, and in the Sarah Heaney Cup Final, it was a win for Murrayfield Wanderers over Melrose. And the teams coming out onto the pitch, Heriots and Hawks, ready to contest this Cup Final here. Still cracking weather here at Broadwood, 80 minutes ahead, and those 80 minutes will be in the company of your match commentator Paul Mitchell and of course Chris Patterson.
Thank you, Jim. Good afternoon, everybody. Broadwood is ready for the Scottish Cup Final. East versus West. Heriots against Glasgow Hawks. That's what they're playing for. The coveted Scottish Cup trophy, and whose ribbons will be hanging off it by the end of the afternoon. Our referee is Graham Wells, and he gets ready to get us underway. Glasgow Hawks through their standoff. Gavin Lowe, experienced player Gavin Lowe. And young terms, the under-16 Scottish Cup with Ayr. So he's got experience of that. This is a whole new level. And he gets ready to get us underway. Left foot jabs it out to the side. Well taken by Heriots in the traditional blue and white hoop jerseys. The club from Goldenacre. Launch it high. Comes off the scrum half. And Heriots quickly in. Good ball across immediately. Out onto the other side, onto the fullback. That's good play. Here's a chance for Heriots. Max Nimmo. Nimmo steps inside. He's well taken down. Graham Wilson at scrum half. Rory Carmichael at 10, dropping in there. Jason Hill. Ferocious start from Heriots. Through the hands of Rory Carmichael once more. Colin Gowdy driving on, being held back by Ali McLeod. Experienced campaigner. Just trying to drag the ball away. Did well for Hawks there. Heriots though, little jab kick through. The fullback comes across and sees the ball out of play. But Chris Patterson, what a good start from Heriots.
Good start for Heriots, wasn't it? Fantastic take from the kick-off from Russell Nimmo. And Heriots kept possession. Graham Wilson at 9, he mixed it up a little. A short kick that they were able to get the ball back from, and then they launched the attack. And if Russell Nimmo in the second row started it, Max Nimmo carried it on, his older brother in the wing, resulting in a penalty for Heriots. Heriots knew the penalty was coming, and that's why Graham Wilson chanced his arm with a grubber kick through. But it's time to settle down now, get the nerves calmed, get the heart rate lowered, because it's his first opportunity for points for Heriots.
Well, the goal kicking could be so vital in this final. So they earn the opportunity for the Edinburgh side. It's not much in terms of distance, but you factor in the fact it's a Scottish Cup final. It's the early moments of the match. And there's the opening points. He was well taken, he addressed the ball well, he took his time.
He did. It was almost a conscious effort to take his time, which is a sign of an experienced player. As I said before, Graham Wilson has done this before. He's done it in Cup Finals before, but he took his time and he kept his head down, and no problem at all. Early points for the advantage they've got. Hawks 0, Heriots 3.
So Hawks with the restart. It's a bit of a guddle, but it comes out through Gus Hamilton. Hawks with 2 changes from the side that triumphed in the semi-final. Max Nimmo in for Chris Mulligan at hooker. 1 change in the backs, Kevin Bryce starting on the right wing, place of Jack Steele. And that's what you're going to see on the surface. The ball comes up so sharply. It does make it tricky if you can't take it first time. Stan Smart getting involved. Well supported. See at the base, Paddy Boyer. The advantage is going to come Hawks' way. A little hand coming over the top to get involved. There's a pass from hooker for you. Finlay Gillis firing it out wide. Advantage over. Gavin Lowe now tries to break the line. Well, I thought the referee decided the advantage was over, and he decided to extend it a little bit. I thought Hawks had their chance.
Yeah, I think that long advantage there. I think what we've already seen, Paul, is two defences that are on edge. They're exactly disciplined very well. They're keeping their line well. There's no change either way, and that's maybe one of the reasons the referee let the play develop a bit further to see if there was an opportunity, but it wasn't at all. And Jack Steele now, who's basically kicked Hawks into the final against Gala. He kicked 7 from 7, including one in the last kick of the game from a little bit further out than this kick, actually. So he's done this before as well. But he knows what it's all about. Big left-footed kicker, but a good opportunity for Jack Steele to draw the scores level.
Well, he did have that wonderful moment, as Chris alluded to, in the semi-final. It takes a lot to go down and do the business down in Gala. Oh, he just got underneath that. Didn't look happy the second he struck the ball, and a goal kicker of some renown yourself, Chris, you could see that he wasn't happy.
Yeah, just a little bit too quick, wasn't it? He just, because it was so far out, possibly tried to kick it too hard, and you see as soon as it came off his boot, it never got really up in the air, it never gave himself a chance. But Hawks should regain possession right away.
Well, it might have upset him slightly with a little juggle there, the foot in the hand, and the referee gives it for the knock-on. In terms of scrummaging, what can we expect from these sides?
Well, two big packs again, and technically two very good packs. The hookers often control the tempo and the height of the scrum, and in both hookers, they're professionals at Glasgow, so they'll know each other inside out, so they'll dictate the height of the scrum with a bulk either side of them to control that. But in all honesty, I think it'll be fairly even. Both packs are fairly even, a lot of experience. I'll be interested to see how this first one goes.
Well, Gillis and Tyler Holmes, the two changes to the semi-final for the Glasgow side. Well, it's a bit of a mess, the scrum, but Hawks quickly pounce. You could see Jack Turley just being brushed over there, and that Hawks being forced to hold on to the ball as they took it in. And the guilty party is Paddy Boyer. And the man from Inverness is penalised.
Yeah, Heriots are contesting the breakdown pretty well, actually. Not only as individuals, but twos and threes. The first player, I think it was Turley, got his hands on the ball. Tyrone Holmes cleaned them out, but then there was a second and a third Heriots player able to contest for possession and win their side the penalty.
A very good kick too to set up the attacking opportunity. So Heriots, Kevin Bryce, Scotland Bay International, Scottish Club International, gets ready to throw in. Well taken. Actually, they seal round the ball carrier. Being controlled at the back. Hawks desperately trying to come through, and it's control play from Heriots. The ball stepping inside, you can see Russell Nimmo there. Now the referee decides that Heriots took too long and weren't going to use it, and the put-in will come the way of Glasgow Hawks. He'll take that as a moral victory.
Absolutely, some good defence there from Glasgow Hawks. The initial drive was good from Heriots. They had the ball at the back. Kevin Bryce, who threw it in, got himself back involved, had the control of the ball, but then Glasgow Hawks number 8, Andrew Kirkland, came right through legally, right through the middle of the ball and got his big paws in it and stopped Heriots getting the ball away.
So Paddy Boyer, the 23-year-old, looking to get the ball in. The referee unhappy at the scrummage. Brendan Killeen, big bearded warrior for Glasgow Hawks. That tight head.
I think Hawks probably had the advantage on that first scrum, Paul, and they'll be looking to clear the lines here from a solid platform.
Sitting back waiting is Gavin Lowe. Well, the scrum is just not settling, and Heriots will be penalised with a free kick. Just going in a little bit early. Yeah,
a good statement actually from the referee there. Early in the game he's saying, listen, the longer you take to settle, the more chance you're going to be penalised, and that's a referee setting his stall out to show he's in control of the game.
Taken by Max Nimmo. Nimmo across to Colin Gowdy, the fullback. The high up and under, it's got plenty of length on it. He wasn't sure what it was, Gavin Lowe. Again, it's a dangerous surface to let the ball bounce on. As Max Nimmo has just spotted. Plenty of height, but lacking the touchline. A little juggle from Tom Stephen. Stephen sets off Dan Smart. Smart. The grubber kick was through, but was he taken out? It seemed to collide with George Turner. The referee was up with play. At the base, quickly out, Graham Wilson. Hawks getting there quickly. Referee trying to set the offside line. Up very quickly, Glasgow Hawks. Trailing here by 3-0. Long kick again for the corner. Across comes the fullback, and he'll be happy to see that one go all the way through.
Yeah, just running a bit too far, as you say, Paul, the artificial surface. You get some kind and some unkind bounces depending which way you're looking at it, but there's just a little bit too much on it from Carmichael there, and probably as a result of how strong the defences are. You know, most of the options we've seen earlier on have been kicking options, trying to kick long, trying to gain territory, because both sides fear the strength of the opposition defence. They don't want to be caught in their own territory. They're looking for territorial gain, but at the moment defences are certainly on top.
So Glasgow Hawks in the 6th final, the first since 2007. Winners in the first season. And get ready. Just inside their opponent's half. At the base of the scrum. Andrew Kirkland. They'll kick across. It's going to take the perfect bounce inside the 22. It was tight measured, that kick.
That was a fantastic kick from Patrick Boyd. It was actually, the scrum was disrupted, and then it was really clever defence from Graham Wilson, the Heriots scrum half, who made him come down this side, and off his left foot, Patrick Boyer just dropped it in. What's that, 6 inches for the touchline? Perfect kick.
Heriots with the throw. Kevin Bryce throws it in. Referee didn't like it. Hawks coming through. And very quickly awarded the penalty. You see Andrew Linton and Gus Hamilton, the two lock forwards, being chastised.
Yeah, I think the signal was that they're taking a man out in the air. It was actually a really good throw from Kevin Bryce, the hooker. Wonderful take from Russell Nimmo, but he was taken out in the air, allowing Heriots to clear the lines.
So we'll move forward again. So the referee having spotted that infringement once, so we're keeping a close eye on this one. Nathan Burrell at the front for Heriots. It goes long this time, too long, but it takes a Heriots bounce. It just went past Rory Carmichael. The Heriots were lucky to hold on to that. Colin Gowdy, that'll chip out wide, that's going to run out of play. Adam McPherson just lets it go on that far side, and out of play it goes.
Yeah, disappointing outcome there for Colin Gowdy. He's a fantastic player of ball in hand, has played a lot of standoff, he's played in the wing, so he's playing at full back today, but he's capable of popping up all over the place, but disappointed with that kick there.
To the back of the line it goes, good take from Gus Hamilton. On the angle, Jack Steele. Steele with the offload. Hawks there very quickly indeed. Good play from the scrum half. Brings in Andrew Kirkland once more. Finlay Gillis setting up. Here's a chance for Stephen Leckie. Down the side, you have to watch they don't go out of play here. The touch judge is right there watching on. Heriots have taken it through Jason Hill, and now will start to advance. Russell Nimmo with the blue scrum cap just yelling for the ball, being held up by Gus Hamilton. Tyrone Holmes may have left his feet there, but the referee was happy with the interaction. The ball was up for grabs. And Nathan Burrell burrows his way through. There it goes, Wilson, Carmichael, through the hands of Cammy Ferguson. Taken up by Colin Gowdy, good on the angle, there's a chance here for Heriots. Flying down that far side, Harry Bossou. Bossou's going to try and find the corner, it's a great score for the Edinburgh side. Great attacking rugby, first try of the match.
What a finish by Harry Bossou. He's set scorching down the left wing, but we must come back to the little scrum half, Graham Wilson. He set up that play again. A kick we saw in the first half, not a high box kick from scrum half, just a dink over the top. They regained it, and then the ball went wide. Cammy Ferguson involved. Colin Gowdy. There's Cammy Ferguson giving a long pass to Colin Gowdy. He brings the pace, draws the defence, and then a wonderful pass under pressure to Bosu. Now he is, what, 60 metres to go, and he's gone for it.
Well, he's got a bit of pace about him. It's the kind of service that wingers dream of. And there was no chance for Dan Smart. Came across, tried to cover. Excellent try.
Fantastic try. Absolutely brilliant. You know, well thought out as well. You know, the decision to chip as opposed to kick long, get that ball back, and then the execution of the passing under pressure. And at that pace, as we see, Harry Bosu, he should have the ball in his left hand, but that's nitpicking, Paul. He knew he was getting there.
I don't exactly know what you mean there. You just don't want that to slip away like a salmon out your hand. I've seen one or two of them from wingers. It's an embarrassing moment. The kick is perfect. Well, that's an extra boost for Heriots when you're kicking from out on the touchline. And credit all the way to Graham Wilson. This is a terrific slot for the conversion points. Watch it come across and just nuzzle inside the post.
Fantastic kick for Graham Wilson. He's certainly in the mould, in the run of the game. He's up to speed, that's for sure.
Well, a good start for Heriots, leading by 10 points to 0. 15 minutes gone. It's hard to believe 15 minutes have gone. It's been played at such a pace. Ball knocked on.
Slight concern for Heriots. Colin Gowdy has been helped from the field after setting up that try. He's Liam Steele, number 22, is on at fullback for Heriots. We don't know if that's a permanent change or if it's a blood injury, but you know, having such a positive impact as he has on Colin Gowdy, it'd be a shame for him if his game's over after 15 minutes.
Yeah, Liam Steele, Scottish Sevens player, son of British Lions, Billy Steele. We'll see what he brings to this cup final. Paddy Boyer with the put in under severe pressure. Chance now for Gavin Lowe. Sends it out wide. Adam McPherson. McPherson had one good run already. Gets caught up. Here again comes Paddy Boyer. Boyer out through the hands. Great play. Tyrone Holmes involved. Hawks. Plenty of pace about them right now. Boyer again. Sets up. That's the big prop. Brendan Cullinan driving on. Hawks set up the platform once more. That's a good tackle. Two props meeting. Nathan Burrell. The ball spill clear. Heriots have got the turnover. That's where you see the Barrow taking quite a wicked bounce back. Chance again for Adam McPherson to go. Really too much daylight there. A little bit high, but handled well by Gavin Lowe. Taken down by Max Nimmo. There's space on that far side. Liam Steele. Steele sends it out wide. Wasu already got one try this afternoon. Heriots again, driving forward. Good support. Flipped up there. And Jack Turley. Out wide it comes. Good pace. There's a lot forward going in there. There's Murray Douglas at the base. Cammy Ferguson. Cross on to Graham Wilson. Rudy Carmichael was caught. Back onto the scrum half. Wilson through the hands of Stuart Mustard. Mustard sent it out wide onto Bryce. There's another opportunity here for Heriots. Running into a little bit of trouble. Paddy Boyer making the challenge. Again, a little flick out wide. You can see the winger there, Max Nimmo, trying to get involved. And the breakdown in play. We'll see the put in goal to Glasgow Hawks, but Chris Patterson were being treated to some fine rugby here.
More good, outstanding rugby from Heriots. You can see it actually all started with a wonderful tackle by Nathan Burrell, who's the prop forward for Heriots, and then they turned it over. George Turner helped turn it over, and then it must have been 3 minutes of attack in rugby with offloads and support runs, using all 15 of the players, Murray Douglas, the big second row, as you said, putting some pace in it out wide. So that's the type of game that Heriots play. And at the moment they're doing it with a lot of control, which is putting a huge amount of pressure on the Hawks' defence. The Hawks haven't really had the ball. They've not had time to get their hands on the ball, dictate the game, have a bit of possession. Heriots have just hit them in this opening 20 minutes, or as close to 20 minutes, with a ferocity that's certainly enjoyable to watch.
Well, Heriots is the first final since 2009. They beat Melrose that year in revenge for the 2008 defeat. But now they're back here. They want their hands on that trophy once more. As Jack Steele is up and okay once more. See the figure of Andrew Kirkland at the back. Packing down on the back row with Stephen Leckie. On one side, Tyrone Holmes, South African, on the other. Already played for Scotland, eh? And it comes from Boyer. Comes back to him, takes responsibility of the scrum half, and sends the ball down the line. Good play from the scrum half.
Yeah, good kick under pressure. The scrum was fairly steady, but you know, the pressure came through from Heriots on Patrick Boyer, and he managed to get his kick away, but only up to the 22. And this will be another opportunity for Heriots to keep the ball in enemy territory and try and extend the lead.
Murray Douglas at 5, Jack Turley at 6. Turley comes back, tries to play it on to number 8, Jason Hill. Heriots break through again. A little bit of footwork required to get the ball out. Nathan Burrell goes in at the base. Helped out. And driven on. Referee signalling the advantage to Heriots, so they can fling this about. Out wide it comes, onto the substitute. Here's Liam Steele. Little shimmy, tries to find a way through. Taken off his feet and driven backwards. The referee will bring it back for the penalty. One or two players getting slightly involved there. A little bit of self-regulation going on. It doesn't develop into anything. And Heriots will have the penalty.
Yeah, it's a better defence from the Hawks there. You know, pretty well organised, and no matter how hard Heriots knocked, they couldn't get through, but they just passed offside. And the way Graham Wilson's kicking, you'd imagine this would be another 3 points to Heriots.
Well, more trouble for the Hawks here. A little bit of blood showing. And Neil Heron, who played against Heriots in March, was all ready to come on. He's been asked to hang back for just a second. So the kick is up. The kick, as expected, is good. And Heriots extend the lead to 13-0. And the good news too for Heriots is Colin Gowdy's getting ready to come back onto the field of play.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was wrong with Colin Gowdy, as we see Graham Wilson just chipping over that penalty again. He was saw him doing some extra warm-up and hit a few pads with a trainer, so maybe it was a blood injury, maybe it was just a doubt over a head knock perhaps, but good for him, he's back on the field.
Liam Steele had a little smile to himself as he came off. He's experienced the action in the Scottish Cup final. The restart taken by Heriots. In comes Russell Nimmo to help out. At the base you can see the hard work of Murray Douglas. Tries to break through. Graham Wilson right behind him. Again, good phase ball from the Edinburgh side. A little chip kick over the top should be taken by McPherson, and is. Oh, and he's escaped as well. Made a good 10 metres there. He didn't have any right to make them. That comes out through Gavin Lowe. Heriots it up quickly. There's Paddy Boyer again. Onto the fullback, Dan Smart. Looking for space. Andrew Kirkland was in there supporting. Back to the scrum half again. Through the hands of the fly half. Brendan Cullinan. What a hit that was. The ball is bouncing around and Heriots pounds. That referee felt they weren't clearing.
Yeah, fantastic tackle with George Turner, who's a professional at Edinburgh actually, and a hooker. Yeah, another hooker playing in the back row. But a fantastic tackle. I think it was pretty hard done by the referee. I think that the tackle initially was good, but he's penalised for the tackler not releasing. I think it was the second player in that wasn't releasing. In the blue scrum cap there.
Yeah, that's Russell Nimmo.
Russell Nimmo, yeah. But add salt into the wound. Someone's agreed with me and disagreed with the ref, and obviously said something. Conceded 10 more yards, and this is a big kick for Jack Steele. He missed his first kick, obviously. It wasn't a great strike, but he has to put that out of his mind. He just go through his process and then get himself back in the game by taking his time, thinking about his triggers, putting the last kick out of his mind, and then getting his team back in the game.
The extra 10 will have helped. Always difficult. And emotions run high in cup finals. And he sends that one. Well, wide. Well, 0 for 2 now, Jack Steele. And that's 6 points that Hawks have left.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed with that one, definitely.
That's the kind of one, I mean, you're a goal kicker, you do that in training all the time, you just ping them through, you're not even thinking about it, and then all of a sudden, you mentioned at the first miss, it can just affect you.
Absolutely.
Aye, there it goes. Good take from Hamilton, and well,
that's so hard not to get your instinct, isn't it? You know, the ball was.
It was there to
forward.
Be won, wasn't it? You know,
it drops at your feet. What
yeah.
do? You know, it's instinct. It's such a soft penalty in many ways, but it's a law in this. Gus Hamilton, you know, I suppose you're being punished for not catching the ball in the first place. And Andrew Kirkland, what else do? It falls at your feet. You're in the cup final. You dive on it. But because you're in front of the player who dropped the ball, you're in offside position. You're not allowed to touch the ball, not allowed to play the ball. Very, very difficult to pull out of that situation.
It is. You're trying to override your reaction time, basically.
Yeah.
But it falls Heriots' way. It's to their advantage. They're enjoying a 13-0 advantage. Neatly taken down that time by Murray Douglas. And again, Heriots trying to attack through the middle. First time we've really seen Keith Buchan get a chance to get into the game. Hawks, though, have turned it over. That's another decent kick from Paddy Boyer. It takes a bounce inside that time. Colin Gowdy comes across in the narrowest of angles. He gets clattered as well. He just took a second or two to see if he had another option. Well, that second or two cost him his feet.
Yeah, it's a second kick. We've seen it in that bottom corner with Patrick Boyer. He likes that corner, doesn't he? It was actually a turnover. Keith Buchan took it in. I think Tyrone Holmes managed to strip the ball, and then quick thinking from the scrum half found the space, to which Colin Gowdy had a thought about running it. Decided to kick it, and he's under pressure with Finn Gillis. Nothing in that there, nothing untoward. Finn was challenging fairly.
Yeah, I don't think Finn Gillis' stopping distance is quite as short as a metre.
No chance. But that's good, you know, that's what you want to see in a cup final. You want to see your team putting the opposition under pressure. And it can be little things like that have a big influence in the game. Putting the kicker under pressure, making sure that he doesn't have time to get away and you concede 10, 15 yards.
Well, Liam Steele's been called onto the pitch for the second time off the replacements bench. Here come the Hawks trying to drive forward. It's Finn Gillis at the base. Hawks have formed a good rolling ball. Heriots coming across. I think they came in from the side there. And the referee is going to give the penalty. Well, Heriots were always looking to concede a penalty at that point. They just seem to be under a bit of pressure.
I think the touch judge got his flag up as well.
He has indeed.
As part of the driving ball, George Turner actually took out the Heriots number 7, took out his opposite number, Tyrone Holmes, to which Tyrone Holmes took a wee bit exception. His arm, it didn't look like a punch to the naked eye. It looked as if he forced him away, pushed him away. He immediately then looked at the assistant referee and says, it wasn't me. So let's see what the decision is.
Well, here comes the referee. And he wants a word. Here is the not so innocent party. So Andy Linton, the captain, experienced player, 27 years old. And there's Tyrone Holmes. And the thing is, of course, it overturns the penalty decision, and what should have been a 3 points for Hawks, Heriots now get the clearing kick.
Yeah, absolutely. George Turner was the person who took the player out, and then he eventually gets the penalty for Tyrone Holmes, just getting frustrated. It wasn't nothing malicious, it wasn't a punch. he just took exception to being driven out the maul and threw George Turner to the ground.
It's just the little things though, Chris, that are just going Heriots' way. The penalty being overturned, you know, the penalty they got down at the far end, the 2 misses by Jack Steele already.
Absolutely, and Heriots are capitalising that, obviously with the scoreboard as well at 13 points, but the look and control of the game.
Oh, lovely offload, and here's a chance, bursting through is Cammy Ferguson. Ferguson sends the ball out, good challenge, Adam McPherson with the tackle. But moving quickly again, come Heriots, Nimmo sends it out, Steele, who's on as a replacement, just goes into touch.
Oh, what a score that would have been. Started from the set piece, a good line out. And then Rory Carmichael delivered a beautifully timed pass to Cammy Ferguson, who burst through the middle. And again, more attacking play from Heriots. As we see, by the time it got out here, to Liam Steele. Good defence in the end, wasn't it? Just barging into touch with Tom Stephen, but some more wonderful attacking play from Heriots.
And unfortunately, Paddy Boyer has taken a knock. He's down, so there'll be a timeout called. Already 26.5 minutes gone here at Broadwood in the sunshine. It's been a beautiful day in Cumbernauld. We've seen a lot of good rugby. 1 or 2 bad jackets, but a lot of good rugby. I hope they got them cheap, Chris.
So do I. It's actually it's a brand foul fashion. One of the former players of Heriots business ventures, so his ex-teammates are supporting him well. Would you wear that?
No, I think there's a limit to being a teammate. Hawks take it through Stephen Leckie, trying to drive to find some space to clear. Heriots trying to keep the possession and pressure on, but Boyer, he's got a little nibble on the way through, nearly charged down.
He's struggling a little, isn't it? It was Patrick Boyer that was down and looked like his ankle or his calf, and just that stiffness, that pain. You know, it was that little extra second to get the ball away when he was half charged down, but he's struggling, to be honest.
They don't want to lure him. He's such an influential figure. Taken by Gus Hamilton. The Aussie setting up. You see the fullback Dan Smart's up there. And Dan Smart watching as the Heriots pack now come in. Collapses into the ruck. And Heriots have turned it over. Heriots wait. Again, what can they do? The offload didn't come. The 2 centres have to reset. Cammy Ferguson and Keith Buchan. Standing at the edge. Cammy Ferguson wearing 12. Graham Wilson brings the ball back for Heriots. Turley went down. Again, they get set. Come down this near side. The props dropped it. Stuart Mustard. And Hawks have it. Referee is playing advantage. Cammy Ferguson in hard on the challenge. Little chip ball over the top. The penalty is given. Well, Russell Nimmo is being blamed for that one. Little chip kick over the top, but you can't make yourself disappear.
No, that was. No, I think there was 2 attempts at it. Wasn't. The key is whether the Heriots player's looking, and where are his eyes. No, I think Mac's name was turning his back. And it was a cute one by Dan Smart to buy that penalty, allowing Hawks to clear the lines.
Well, I didn't make too many metres with that. So the throw from Finlay Gillis, Dunbar Grammar School. 23 appearances for Glasgow Warriors. Playing for the Hawks this afternoon. And it comes short. Onto Andy Kirkland. And how the play it goes. If you are going to go short with a line out, you've got to make sure you stay that couple of yards in or have a lot of space. There was nowhere to go.
Yeah, it was well defended, really well defended by Heriots. What they did was that they stacked the back of the line out and the middle of the line out and made the Hawks throw short, and then they were quick enough to react to Graham Wilson and the tight head Stuart Mustard to barge Kirkland into touch. Good play.
So far, so good for the team coached by Phil Smith, who was the coach for Heriots when they won it back in 2003. Good take again into the hands of Graham Wilson. Wilson to Carmichael. Carmichael sends it out wide. It's Max Nimmo. Nimmo sends it out onto Liam Steele. The Glasgow defence swallowing up on that far side. Referee unhappy. Heriots took it in, couldn't get it out, so the Hawks will have it. And trotting across come the Hawks pack, who'd stayed well out wide. You could just see Finn Gillis coming in there with Gus Hamilton. We've got a job to do, boys. Let's go and do it.
Yeah, actually well defended by the Hawks here. They gave the space on the outside to Heriots, and Heriots went into that channel, and sometimes that's deliberate, sometimes it's a trap. You know, you see the space, you run into it, but the Hawks knew that if Heriots went as wide as that, they'd probably be isolated, and then as they were isolated, the Hawks were able to get their hands on the ball and prevent Heriots getting it back. So good defence there. Although they conceded a wee bit of yards, the Hawks players managed to turn the ball over. So well done to the Hawks outside. Tom Stevens out in wide right over there.
So a timeout for the injury at the moment. You're watching coverage of Glasgow Hawks against Heriots, the Scottish Cup Final for 2014. Half an hour played in front of a good crowd here at Broadwood. And Heriots leading by 13 points to 0. The try in the match came from Harry Rossou, the winger. 60-metre run, full of power and conviction that Glasgow could do little about. Ready to get underway once more. Heriots 4th in the Premiership this season, 58 points. Glasgow Hawks promoted last season, finished 5th on 37. A good consolidating campaign. The ball squeaked out there. Graham Wilson couldn't get his hands on it. And Glasgow Hawks have it. Hawks coming through the middle. Gus Hamilton, Neil Linton trying to combine. There's Tyrone Holmes. Holmes being held up by Jason Hill. Paddy Boyer played it to the fullback that time, just jabbed through, just taken outside the 22. Steele on the high up and under, goes chasing after it. Adam McPherson tried to gather for the Hawks. Good ball won by the Hawks. Gavin Lowe taken down. Trying to push over there is Stephen Finlay. And it's Heriots again. Now the chance to get it out wide. Oh, the pass is a poor one, it's way forwards. And the referee will bring it back for a previous infringement. But they had the overlap, I think, by 2 players, Chris.
Yeah, again, that space is on the outside, isn't it, for Heriots to try and attack. And unfortunately there for Heriots, Rory Carmichael just, I think he'd thought about going himself, and then had a shot runner where really it should have gone to the space early. Let the ball do the work, get the ball to the space, and then what I always tried, I do quite a lot of work with under 16s to under 20 national and regional players and club players, and I always say that you can do a lot of damage on a second touch. If you give the ball and support, sometimes you can be as devastating, more devastating than if you keep a hold of it. And just encourage guys to get the ball into space and then get on your bike, get support and get a second touch. It keeps you in the game. So I think that's what the Heriots would like to have done there. But I must say I've been impressed by Haddon McPherson in the Hawks side. 2 or 3 times as you said, he didn't have the right to make any yards, and he's came out the other end, just a small guy, short in stature and quite lightweight, but he's played well in attack and defence. He's brave under the high ball, so if Hawks can get the ball out wide to him, he could maybe cause a bit of damage.
Well, Hawks need a little something. They've had 2 penalties, they've missed both, Jack Steele. One was very kickable. As the scrimmage comes turning around, we'll have to do it again. Referee moves smartly backwards and out the way. And the final bodies gets back to their feet once more. So Heriots twice winners of this tournament. 2003 they beat Watsonians. Melrose in 2009. The man alongside me, Chris Barrison, knows what it's like to win this competition. And would like to score the odd try as well.
A long time ago, Paul. 1999, 15 years. Gala, it was a classic. Gala 8, Kelso 3. A try and a drop goal in the last minute, or the last 2 minutes. So we trailed 3-0 for 78 minutes.
Is it available on DVD?
It's available at my mum's house, I think. There's a copy there still. I think it might be VHS at that time.
I was going to say, yeah, as long as it's not beta, we'll be fine. For our younger audience who wish to go and check Wikipedia or another encyclopedia to see what Betamax actually was. So Glasgow Hawks have the ball. So Paddy Boyer, former Highland player, 6 years, came down to Glasgow for university, involved with the Hawks. Referee again not happy.
The Hawks have got the upper hand in the scrum. The last 2 or 3 scrums, Paul, the one previous to this, they actually turned Heriots over. And it looks like a good concerted team effort, that they're putting the pressure on the right time, and they're not only are they dominant in their own ball, but they're causing Heriots problems. So it'll be a good platform for Gavin Lowe to launch his backs off here, to get back into the game just 5 minutes out, almost 5 minutes out from half time.
We've hardly seen the ball through the hands of the backs. Jack Steele, Ali McClay, Tom Stephen on the right wing hasn't really had a run as yet. It's a beautiful afternoon here. The sun is now starting to come straight into the commentary box. And again, it goes round. And again, the referee decides it's going to be a switch of put in. Heriots will gather.
We're obviously transmitting all over the world, and we've got tweets in here from Ricky Munday, an old Hawks player. Remember him playing as well. He's saying he's watching my old club Glasgow Hawks in the live stream from Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Moan the Hawks, he says. You think it'll be as sunny as there?
No. I think Cumbernauld gets more hours of sunshine per year than...
No, certainly today. I think it'd take anywhere in the world on. Fantastic day.
Glad to have you along wherever you're watching. At Scotland Team on Twitter, hashtag RBS Finals Day. Get in touch. Hawks penalised. Heriots will move it quickly. Jack Steele and Ali McClay down the middle, making sure nobody passes. They will round reset. Well, a bit of cleaning out to be done. There's a penalty. Just coming in and over the top. Andrew Kirkland found himself on the wrong side as well.
Yeah, got to try and stay on your feet. It's initially good work from Kirkland, and in desperation, trying to get their hands on the ball, trying to disrupt the breakdown, which all good players do, but unfortunately just sometimes it's your own player that bumps you off your feet and you end up rolling over the wrong side, and it's an easy out for the referee to pick that one up. But good endeavour, just unfortunately lost his feet.
So Heriots on the angle kick, 4 minutes to half time.
An important point in the match, isn't it? We always say the 5 minutes before and after half time, or championship minutes, as an old coach used to say. So it'll be interesting to see what Heriots can conjure up from here, and how Hawks can defend.
Throw through the intended receiver and into the arms of Heriots it came. Graham Wilson waits on to Nimmo. Nimmo being driven forward. Burrell is close by. Now here's a chance for Murray Douglas to take it on. Now through the hands of Carmichael. Good defence from Glasgow. Really holding on strong there. And it's trying to come through. Jack Turley wearing 6. But it's going to be a Hawks ball. They did enough to spoil Heriots on that occasion. Yeah,
a reasonably good set-piece move actually from Heriots to start with. In the first 2 phases were quick. Graham Wilson whipping the ball away to Carmichael, not giving the opportunity for Hawks to slow the ball down. But that last one there, Hawks did get the numbers there. They slowed the possession down. They won the turnover. That must have been the 4th or 5th time, I think, in the game that Hawks have been able to do that. But it's dangerous when the Heriots are getting this quick ball. They're a dangerous side. But well done to the Hawks there. Eventually getting the numbers in to dictate the speed of the ball and win the turnover.
So the first half drawing to a close. Scottish Cup this season. Glasgow trailed Ayr in the quarter-final by 14 points to 6 and came back to win. They're going to be trailing at half-time here. And they find a similar way to get through. It's been a difficult first half for the Glasgow Hawks. And he had spent a long time in possession. More changes being made. Michael Maltman is coming on, Scottish Sevens player.
Looks like George Turner coming off in the back row.
George Turner has to give way.
George Turner's put a lot of good low, hard tackles in. He's a hard player, George Turner. Fantastic defensive player, good with the ball in hand, but he's replaced by Maltman, a stalwart of the Sevens side.
What a hit that was in the centre. Here come Heriots again. Heriots, the little jab through, chasing after it is Nimmo. Oh, that's McPherson. That's outrageous. And as long as it doesn't cost his side, that's great. And he comes through just on the stroke of half time, trying to make something happen for Glasgow Hawks. But the ball will now be cleared. Well, it's cleared infield. Not the kick they were designing. Got to be careful with this bounce. And sideways it goes. Fed out wide by Cammy Ferguson. Bosu gets his hands on it. He can move. Shimmied one way, then the other. He's eating up the meters. Now again, through the hands of Carmichael. Out wide it comes. Nimmo was waiting for it. Maltman gets his first touch of the final. The referee is going to give a penalty. Well, it can be traced all the way back to Adam McPherson pressing the gamble button, and it didn't work.
No, again, good pressure though, wasn't it? He looked to try and clear, and he was put under pressure by Heriots, and then not only that, then Gavin Lowe did clear, but was put under huge pressure, allowing this dangerous back three Heriots to get their hands on the ball. You know, again, we saw Harry Bosu, the try scorer, breaking the line and getting in behind, putting pressure on the Hawks' defence, and it's ended up another, probably the last opportunity in the first half for Graham Wilson to add to his tally and knock over another 3 points.
13-0 down at half-time is bad enough. The scoreboard will now tick over to 16. You would suspect 1,681 Heriots points coming into today for Graham Wilson. Winner in 2009 with Heriots. And this to make him 4 out of 4 kicking on the day. Steps up. Well, you don't see that too often. Just pulled it.
Yeah, just missed left, but yeah, the half-time whistle goes. It's Hawks yet to feature in the scoreboard. Hawks 0, Heriots 13.
Well, it's been a first half that they've enjoyed. Heriots, they opened up very well indeed, and Hawks have found themselves on the back foot for quite a lot of the match. It just hasn't quite functioned for them.
No, Heriots have played better as a side, haven't they? They're well marshalled at 9 and 10. They've looked in control in defence. I must say, Murray Douglas, you know, it's a fantastic line, wins at the line out, and they're well led by Jack Turnley at number 6. So they're more cohesive. Some good individual performances from the Hawks.
The voice of Chris Patterson here. Hope you're enjoying all the action from Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld. It's been a first half where, as Chris said, Heriots just seemed to be ready for it. Came out the gate exceptionally well and have looked good. Certainly the half-back partnership of Graham Wilson and Rory Carmichael. Graham Wilson will be upset that he missed that final kick just to get another 3 points on the board, which really should have come his way. But this is the RBS Scottish Rugby Cup Final between Glasgow Hawks and Heriots. And it's the side from Edinburgh that's doing the better of the two at the moment. The try came from Harry Bosu. 60-metre dash from inside his own half. It showed pace, it showed power. Carmichael played it out through the hands of Cammy Ferguson. The fullback Colin Gowdy was involved, and there it went onto the winger. And what pace! Just opened up, checked to see what was around. Dan Smart was, but he couldn't get there. And it was a fabulous try, well set up by Heriots. And the replacements joining in the celebrations. And the penalties have been knocked over comfortably by Graham Wilson. Jack Steele has missed a couple. From the Hawks' point of view, the half-time scoreline is Glasgow Hawks 0, Heriots Rugby 13.
Half-time here in the RBS Cup, and it's Heriots 13, Hawks 0, and I'm joined by Chris Patterson, who's made his way down from the commentary box, but for a young man like him, not a problem. Chris, it's been difficult for Hawks in that half. Heriots have had all the possession and they've had all the territory. What have Heriots been doing well?
They've managed the game well. I just said, you know, in commentary with Paul, that the 9 and 10, especially Graham Wilson at 9, has dictated the play. You know, they've looked for where the space is and attacked it, and then they've had a lot of quick ball. You know, quick ball, good clear-outs, allowing them to choose where to attack. When Hawks have been successful, or where they've been better, is where they've been able to slow Heriots' possession down. But Heriots have been a cohesive unit. They've attacked wide at times, they've attacked tight. They had a wonderful break, Cammy Ferguson up the middle, as well as scoring out wide with Harry Bosu. So they're playing a kind of rounded game, whereas Hawks just can't get their hands on the ball.
And in terms of, Heriots have been good with the line breaks, but they perhaps maybe would have liked to have finished off a wee bit more than they have.
That's well diluted, Jim. They have, but that's credit as well to the scrambling defence of the Hawks. You've mentioned Haddon McPherson in commentary as being a live wire. He's gotten back twice or 3 times. Smart at fullback as well. So there's a desire there. But it's just for a case of Hawks get their hands on the ball. For a case of Heriots, that arguably could have had one, if not two more tries, but that's probably down to the Hawks' desire in defence.
The preceding games have been very, very quick. They've been kind of 100 miles an hour. This one hasn't. I mean, there have been quick patches in it, but is it because Heriots have had so much control over the game that it's not been allowed to fracture and there's been not very much space? I think so. It
is a less frantic game, and I suppose the higher level you go, the more you get that, the more the clever players dictate how long it takes to get to the line out, for example, or how many sometimes reset scrums there are. One or two injuries as well, one or two ankle and knee injuries over the far side have brought the tempo of the game down. But we spoke way back at the start of this afternoon, or this morning as it was, and we said how important the leaders and how important the experienced players in your team are of making this like any other game. Try and forget about it being a final in some ways and just play to your strengths. Control, don't get ahead of yourself, and I think we've seen that here in the cup final. Okay, there's an old question that you usually get in sports coverage, and it's what are the coaches going to do next? But it is relevant because you've got two teams who are under different pressures. Yeah. So for Hawks, what do they have to stress at half time? What's most important for them? Well, I think they've lost both territory and possession on the stats, so I think the crucial thing for me is possession. They've got enough good players that they can break free. I mean, everyone talks about territory being the be-all and end-all nowadays, but if you look at the best teams in the world, they're capable of scoring from anywhere. And I think Hawks they've got enough pace to break the line, so I think territory is less important for Hawks than possession. They have to get their hands on the ball. We may see them driving line-outs, we may see short attacking lines up the middle to try and retain possession for a long time. Heriots, I think Phil Smith will be saying, just do the same. They're in control. Okay, it's getting to the Neil Diamond stage of the evening. I think it's been a long day. Let's talk about the day in total. It is the club's big day out. I mean, how successful has it been, throughout the day for all these teams involved and the teams involved at DL? It's a massive opportunity. What has it said about Scottish club rugby? I think it's been a huge success. You just have to look at the emotion of the players before the game and then after the game, and you've seen that 4 times through. And not only the winners, you see that the joy in the wins, but I've seen a fantastic reaction for the players who are amateur, but who've came off the field given everything they've had, and then seen their friends and family in the crowd and enjoyed the game that's come after. So it's been a fantastic day for them. The supporters have been bathed in sunshine all day long. They've moved from one side of the field to the other to catch the sun, and they've seen some good rugby. Quick games. The first 3 games are really quick, and this is a real classic of two teams that were one place apart in the league. One's playing probably the top of their game in Heriots, and the other one's just not found their footing in the game yet. So 1/2 of rugby to go in the 4th and final cup finals day, but fantastically enjoyable for all the spectators. And I go back to the look on the faces of all the competitors, all the players. They look as if they've enjoyed it too. Okay, I've got a wee challenge for you. It's to see how quickly you can get back to the commentary. Off you go. That's Chris Patterson heading back to the commentary position. It's half-time here in the RBS Cup. Heriots up 13 points to 0 against Glasgow Hawks. We'll hand you back to our match commentator, Paul Mitchell.
What a beautiful early evening it is in Cumbernauld. The loch in the background, the wind gently rippling the surface, and inside this fine stadium, the home of Clyde Football Club. Today, the home of the RBS Scottish Club Rugby Cup Finals Day. It's being enjoyed by so many people here. We've seen some great games of rugby, and congratulations to all the winners, and indeed commiserations to the runners-up. Chris Patterson must have taken the lift. He's just about to get in back beside me here in the commentary box.
The lift was broken, Paul.
The stairs 2 at a time. Very impressive. I'll tell you what, Jim Mason would still be in the tunnel. Oh, I'm glad he can't hear me. It's been a good occasion, and that's the thing. You just get a feeling around the stadium. There's a very good vibe about the place.
There has been, and across all 4 games. And You think about the first two games, I'm not really out of breath, I'm putting that on. You had Highland from Inverness and a big travelling support. Caithness from Thurso. Most of the supporters set off last night, some left at 5 o'clock this morning, so a huge commitment from the fans as well. But they've been treated to some great games of rugby, a great sunny day, and one I think that everybody's enjoyed.
So who's going to triumph here between Glasgow Hawks and Heriots? Glasgow Hawks formed with GHK and Glasgow Ackies, the first 15s coming together. And 97-98 plays between Old and New Annie's Land. They've been at Old since 2001. Glasgow Hawks against a team with what a history. Heriots formed in 1898. Goldenacre won the first unofficial championship back in 1919-20. Of course, George Heriot's School, very famous in Edinburgh, founded way back in 1628, thanks to a fortune left by a jeweller called Heriot. If you're going to leave a fortune, they may as well name the school after you, George Heriot's. And they've always been in the top flight of Scottish rugby since its start in 78-79 into the new structures. Glasgow Hawks promoted last season into the Premiership, won 6 of 18 games, still finished in 5th place. And they lost narrowly to Heriots at home, but interestingly they did go to Goldenacre earlier in March and win, so it's always good when you're facing a team in a final or anything. You know you've beaten them once, there's no reason why you can't do it again.
Oh, absolutely no reason at all. And as you say, already in the semi-final they came from behind, and in the quarter-final they came from behind to beat Ayr, so they can do it, they know the way to do it. They also probably know that they're going to get more possession in the second half. The pendulum does swing in games, and they know that they never had many opportunities in the first half, but they will get more in the second half, and it's about taking those opportunities and putting the pressure on Heriots. Sometimes when you're in front and you've got a lead, you can get quite nervous in cup finals, you can defend the lead, whereas I think Heriots should keep doing as they're doing, and they'll add to that. But if any of the Heriots players think we can rest our laurels or we can defend the 13-point lead we have, Glasgow Hawks have the players to punish that.
So we're getting ready for the start of the second half. It was 68 points and 11 tries when these sides last met. 6 to Hawks, 5 to Heriots. 31 points to the home side that day, but the Hawks won by 7, 38 points to 31. The second 40 minutes are underway. He gets kicked to this near side. Michael Maltman gathers on top of the ball. Squeaks through. Paddy Boyle was caught. Heriots thought they'd won it back. A good play by Hawks once more. Boyer at the base. So too Neil Heron. Now pushing forward, Brendan Cullinan. Born in Waterford. Hawks desperately trying to protect the ball. Heriots now standing off. Hawks will have it. Comes through onto Finn Gillis. Gillis trying to drive through, being taken down by Russell Nimmo. Here again comes the scrum half. Puts a little bit of air on that, but no way through. We'll have to come back. Across once more. Again, Russell Nimmo is in there. He's swallowing everything up that's come his way. More direct this time from Hawks. Trying to find a way through. Pass comes out onto Gavin Lowe. Low with the offload. Jack Steele watching on. Gus Hamilton driving through. Just going over the top there. Andrew Linton over the bodies. Back out once more. Past Gavin Lowe. Finn Gillis, what a hard tackle that was. Cammy Ferguson. This is good early defence from Heriots. A little short pass, but again, Heriots there in number. Haven't turned the man this time though. Driving through Andy Linton, the skipper. Looking to move away, Maltman. But again, the referee not happy with the way Heriots are coming in and round the side, and Hawks will take the penalty.
Again, I think Heriots are a wee bit hard done by there. It's a fantastic tackle by Maltman, sorry. And we had Jason Hill coming in over the ball, still on his feet, hands on the ball, trying to rip the ball clear. So I mean, it's so difficult for referees, and I actually prefer the attacking team to get the benefit anyway. I think that's better for the game, but I think Jason Hill will be a wee bit disappointed there. It's cost his team a penalty and 30 yards, but it's good play by him.
I mean, you don't mind it if you're actually being naughty, but on that occasion I don't think he was.
No, it's It's a very difficult game to referee.
Over the top it goes. Flicked back neatly that time by Linton. And it's swarming around the ball. You can see Stephen Leckie trying to drive on. Difficult one for Boyer to take. Comes back on to Stephen Finlay, the former DL player. He's got plenty of support here today. Comes back on to Low, inside again. The hits are hard. It comes up onto Mateusz Bartosek on as a replacement. Good phase rugby from Glasgow Heriots. The high challenge came in from Jason Hill. Took his man down and the ball just squirts out. And the referee immediately ends the excitement and says there's going to be a scrum down to Heriots. So a couple of changes. The Polish flanker Mateusz Bartosek is on. He's a big lad. Bright coloured boots will not miss him. He just adds a little bit of extra bulk.
Yeah, I did a bit of 2 or 3 ball carries there, and they've actually dented the Heriots defensive line. They made a bit of yards, 2 or 3 times they made yards and allowed the Hawks guys to get in their front foot, allowed scrum half Paddy Boyer to whip the ball away. So more endeavour from the Hawks, and we spoke with Jim at half time about having possession, have a sustained period of possession, and they've actually done that there, Hawks. That'll make them feel more comfortable. Now the scrum goes to Heriots, they'll be desperate to get that ball back again, Hawks guys, and then try and influence the game further. But a good opening 3 or 4 minutes to the second half for the Glasgow Hawks.
Yet to get on the board. And certainly a brighter start to the second half, as Chris Patterson has just outlined. Running repairs for 1 or 2 players, including Dan Smart.
He took the ball in as well hard a couple of times, didn't he? Well tackled, I must admit, by Cammy Ferguson. 2 or 3 good tackles, but it certainly looks as if the Hawks guys are being more direct in the second half.
They've got a word from coach Jimmy Dempsey in half time. His wife Flora Stevens, successful in the ladies' final. She's the centre for Murrayfield Wanderers. Now driving on come the Hawks. Heriots ripped apart there. The penalty's been given. Well, they're congratulating themselves, the Glasgow Hawks, and they're pumped up at the start of the second half.
That was a big scrum, was a big statement as well, wasn't it?
Tremendous.
Absolutely. You see them here, this is just the tail end of it. They'd already driven Heriots back 3 or 4 yards by this point. And there was no doubt they won the penalty, which Jack Steele gets his 3rd opportunity. All 3 have been in front, incrementally getting closer as the kicks have gone, and he'll be desperate to put this over to get his team on the scoreboard and eradicate the 2 earlier misses.
22 metres away from the first points for Glasgow Hawks. Left-footed kicker steps up. Little nod between the touch judges. The Hawks are on the board, and that's a pretty popular thing around these parts.
Yeah, absolutely. They deserve that, don't they, Paul, for the start they've made to the second half. They've been more direct, more combative, and they've got the 3 points reward. Now it's a case of getting the ball back. The kickoff's a hugely important part of the game. If Heriots get this back right away, they can then apply pressure, but Hawks will be looking to win this, keep their hands on the ball and influence the game further.
So changes being made. Stuart Mustard is off, Gavin Cameron is on. The ball's in the hands of Michael Maltman. First half replacement. Heriots driving on. Graham Wilson flicks the ball out onto Russell Nimmo. Harry Bosu involved too. Through the hands of Rory Carmichael. Laid off onto Kevin Bryce. It's good play from Heriots. Driving the Hawks back, trying to get organised again. Kevin Bryce drops to the side, that's where it goes. The hooker is upended, good tackling from the Hawks, but he's got the ball back. Well, I thought he was going to try and chip it over the top there, Carmichael, because there was a real gap in behind. Decided to keep it in hand. Little slip pass on to Ferguson. Heriots driving down that far side, looking for space. Nimmo's in there again. But the referee decided it was touched forward. We could see it was perfect. It opened up. You just wondered if the little chip kick was going to come in.
I think you're right. You thought about that, but the space was there, and then a good defence will come forward and put you under pressure. And I think what the Hawks did there, whether they didn't see the ball coming out, they actually didn't come forward, which which allowed Carmichael to take the space in front of him. And I think you're right, I think his initial idea was to chip, but then when he saw the space with ball in hand, he took it, and you know, Heriots there kept possession for a long time. Graham Wilson, unfortunately, knocking on towards the end there, but that's how important the kickoff is. You know, that Michael Malton's won the last 2 kickoffs and has put his side in a good position here.
So the last scrimmage, Hawks were so impressive, it's their own ball this time. The referee, just have a little word. You can see Nathan Burrell on the near side, 5'11", 16 stone 7. Sign from Bordeaux. Heriots, in their publicity for the game, did mention that he cooks a mean duck confit, which I'm not quite sure of the relevance of, but it's an interesting fact nonetheless. He may beat you around in the scrum, but he'll cook you something nice afterwards. Yeko Hawks trying to drive forward. Good clean ball laid back. A little stutter again. Oh, he got through somehow. Gavin Lowe taking a risk. Through the hands, but dropped. Bounces up into Jack Steele. Well, the ball just knocked forward. It's a little bit early to be that adventurous, I think, coming out from the back. You don't want to spoil the start you've had to the second half.
No, you don't. It was actually well taken off the back in the scrum by Tyrone Holmes, allowing a good opportunity for Hawks to clear the lines. Maybe the doubt in Gavin Lowe's mind is how effective the Heriots guys have been on counter-attack. So, you know, he's decided to take that ball in, but then, you know, we've lost the ball at the end of that. I think most times out of 10 you'd kick that, you'd get a good solid line chase and try and put the Heriots under pressure, but the Hawks now face a scrum in their own 22.
And the ball's pinballing in there. Heriots have come round and lost it, and it's a penalty. Well, the scrum is not suiting Heriots at the moment. It came in, just pinged around. And Hawks, after all, do get a penalty.
Yeah, the referee, I think, is signalling that the Heriots front row are standing up. You have to fight to stay low to keep the scrum a stable platform as you possibly can, a competitive environment. If you stand up, that's illegal. You're penalised for that. And we've penalised the Heriots front row for standing up there. But the Hawks scrum definitely is on the ascendancy, isn't it? 2 or 3 really strong scrums after the break.
It is the darkest of all sporting arts, the scrummage. And Hawks just making a change. David Mill introduced into the action. On the line out. Jack Steele is given way. Dan Smart in playing scrum half for the moment. Taken on by Finn Gillis. Heriots trying to get there to set up a platform. But it's the Hawks who emerge with the ball. Gus Hamilton trying the handoff. Again through the hands of Gavin Lowe. Spun for Tyrone Holmes. Now Heriots not getting out the way. It's Nathan Burrell that's there. And the penalty comes, it's taken. But the referee, well, too many players in a round. Hadn't given the man the chance to clear out again, and the referee deciding there wasn't to be a break, but he wants a word. And Nathan Burrell is being called over. Jack Turley, the captain. And it looks like a final warning to me.
Yeah, 2 or 3 penalties in a row, isn't it? They're mounting up against Heriots in this second half, and we see Dan Smart now playing at scrum half. He's experienced of playing scrum half. He grew up in New Zealand and plays equal amount of scrum half as full-back. So I think we've lost Paddy Boyer as a referee just decides to go to a penalty. No yellow card again for holding on in the tackle, not rolling away. But I think we'll see Dan Smart quickening the tempo up there. We saw him try to take a quick tap penalty. I think he'll bring a bit of another spark to the Hawks backline. Great kick as well.
Yeah, terrific kick. Now then, here's a chance. As George Turner returns to the field of play. George Turner is back on. Just in time for a crucial line out. Finn Gillis. With the throw, Glasgow have taken. Trying to drive on. Bartosek, 19, is there at the base. Is 15. Now playing scrum half, Dan Smart. Good defending by Heriots. Hawks reform. Now a little chat to decide what they want to do. Referee just having a good look to see where the ball is and if it's coming back. Heriots try and drive forward. And it's slightly cleaned out. Hawks try to pick up. Again, Dan Smart waiting for it. The offload doesn't work, but it'll come straight back onto Smart, onto Gillis. Good tackling by Heriots. Stephen Finlay in there too, right in front of the posts. Sniping for the line, go Glasgow Hawks. Is this their moment? Heriots' defence is strong. Trying to go over there was Ali McClay. He was held up. The spin and the try. And it's given by the referee. Oh, what a great piece of play. I think it's Brendan Cullen who's got the try. Well, Heriots were under all sorts of pressure and Glasgow Hawks have got the try.
Yeah, Glasgow Hawks picking and going, bringing in the defenders round the fringes, and Brendan Cullen, I think, eventually picking up and dotting over. Some fantastic defence initially from Heriots, defending the line. But big Cullen picks up a yard from the line. He actually spins away from the tackle. There you see him twisting and turning and getting the ball down under the sticks. Good play by Glasgow Hawks. A lot of control, a lot of endeavour, and they're right back in this game with the conversion to come.
It's Gavin Lowe who's going to take it. And Gavin Lowe pops it over. Well, the move by Cullen, it was almost like a goal line stand in the NFL, how you go up and over and turn your body to get anywhere in, and that was terrific play by him.
Yeah, you want to fight as hard as you possibly can in contact, never to be stationary, never to go the way you think the defender going to want you to go, twist, turn, drive towards the line, and is he a big old frame, and he managed to get the ball down and bring Hawks right back into this game.
Well, a different complexion now on the Scottish Cup Final. The Hawks trailed at half-time 13-0. The scoreboard reads Glasgow Hawks 10, Heriots 13. Rory Carmichael can't get there for Heriots. It's a different game in the second half. Well, that's just dropped forward. It's going to be a little knock-on. He was a bit unlucky there, Ali McClay.
He was. It was actually the right decision, but poor execution. Sometimes that can frustrate the big angry forwards. They'll turn in and tell you should have kicked that. But it was actually the right decision. The space was there. They'd worked the space. They'd worked the overlap, the opportunity to set the wide man free. But then the pass, the execution of the pass wasn't as good as it should have been. And the knock-on effect is that he turned the ball over. But the decision was right. The execution just wasn't quite up there.
So Heriots looking to win this trophy for the third time. Watsonians in 2003, 2009 they beat Melrose. They've been runners-up too in a tournament that in the last 3 or 4 years has been dominated by Ayr. But Ayr were knocked out in the quarter-finals by Glasgow. 28 points to 24. Glasgow coming from behind at half-time. As the referee will just call time-out for the injury.
Although the Hawks tried to run that out and eventually turned the ball over, resulting in the scrum for Heriots, they'll be pretty confident with their scrum as well. So that sometimes allows you to play with a bit more freedom, because if your scrum is so dominant, even on the opposition ball, that you can try and win it back right away. So maybe the big ugly forwards who I said will turn around and usually tell you to kick it, maybe won't be too disappointed in another opportunity to turn the screw and really put their power on the opposition pack and win that ball back.
Yeah, you say it because it was the first scrum of the second half that almost set the tone for the second half, the way they ripped through Heriots, won the penalty, got onto the board, and well, it set the tone. Let's see what they can do. Heriots will want to get this in and out as quickly as possible. Again, scrummage is going round, but it's taken at the base by Jason Hill. Out it comes. Bosu sends it out wide. The sting was taken out the attack though, as he tried to link with fellow winger Max Nimmo. Now Heriots, good spin pass. That's on to Gavin Cameron. Cameron on as a replacement prop, takes the ball in. Referee signalling advantage. Right, the turnover has come and Glasgow have it, although the interception, there was a knock on, and the referee will bring it back. Harry Bosu was off on the run, but the knock on was pretty clear. Heriots will just be happy at the moment, I guess, Chris, just to be keeping it in the Hawks' half just now.
Yeah, they are. It's 1 or 2 turnovers. The ball's bouncing back and forward, isn't it? And this is an important part of the match. 55 minutes in, as you see, just the knock on there for Douglas before Bosu gets the ball in his hands again. 55 minutes in, really important part in the match. Heriots will want to consolidate the lead, and Hawks know they have the upper hand since half time, and they'll want to try and, you know, capitalise on that even further and push ahead to try and put the psychological pressure really firmly on top of Heriots. But amongst all that, you need to do your basics well, the simple things well, whether that's a scrum, whether it's a pass, whether it's a presentation of the ball at the ruck and maul, the kick. The little things done well that make a big difference. And Heriots, I think, will look to tighten up a little bit and get those basics that they were doing so well in the first half, get them right in the second.
So scrummaging down on that far side. Dan Smart.
Another penalty for the Hawks at scrum time.
Well, I think it's the second or third in the second half from the scrummage, and they're having a bit of a problem.
Definitely, Paul. The one previous to that was for the standing up, and the referee's saying now the Heriots players are boring in or are taking it too low. So sometimes it's an interpretation between the front rows and the referee. Maybe they should, you know, take a minute and ask the referee, what is it you're looking for? What are we doing wrong? Try and clarify that. And other times it's just, you know, good play from the Hawks.
Well, Nathan Burrell is being replaced. Craig Owenson, Scotland under-16, under-18 internationalist, comes on. So the front row has been changed. Throw taken up by Stephen Leckie. Heriots, who looked so comfortable in the first half, under a fair bit of pressure in the second. Glasgow try the miss move. Little chip kicks, not advisable. Heriots gather. Oh, the ball is out at the side. The whole bench at the side could see it. None of the players could. They were screaming, and eventually Jason Hill realised the ball had made its way out.
It was the beauty of that. A painted line in the technical area, isn't it? 6 or 7 of them screaming the ball was inches from them, and none of the players noticed.
Here come the Hawks from the throw. Heriots with a turnover. Good pass. George Turner through the hands of the centre, Keith Buchan. Jimmy Ferguson has to go in there. Graham Wilson. Heriots looking to re-establish themselves in the second half. Glasgow were up very quickly. Andy Linton was through, the ball being knocked around, and the referee is going to give the first knock on, which went against Heriots. So scrum down halfway.
More tweets coming in from far out places. We've got Ross Miller, who actually plays for Hawks, captain of Hawks, I think, this season or last season. And he's telling us he's up early to support the mighty Hawks from central Queensland in Australia.
Good to have him along. Wherever you're watching around the world, get in touch with us on Twitter. We'll be delighted to hear from you. At Scotland Team, hashtag RBS Finals. This is nicely poised as almost an hour has passed. Out very quickly that time. Picked up by Tyrone Holmes. Now with the headband. Dan Smart. The challenge that was from Jack Turley. Again, Heriots trying to just restrict the way that Hawks are bringing the ball out, forcing Hawks to bring in more forwards. They're just trying to smash over the top. It's a real war of attrition over there. Heriots have turned it over. Now they come across the three-quarter line. Up high it goes. Here's a chance for Keith Buchan. Buchan driving on. Bosu goes there. Buchan turns, presents the ball. Heriots again pick up. It's good play. Well, the touch judge is watching. As Harry Bosu comes over, there's a little bit cleaning out. Heriots have it. Joining together. Gavin Cameron leading the charge. The penalty for not releasing. Well, Heriots initially thought, Chris, they were going to get the call.
Yeah, they did, and then actually that was very good play by Alan McLeay, the big Hawks centre. He got his hands on the ball, and is Michael Maltman took it in, no matter how hard the clearing players from Heriots came in, they couldn't get over and get the ball back. Very good play. As you see Ali McClay there, number 13 coming up with the ball. Another big moment in the match where Heriots were almost getting back into the game with a wide attack. They had a nice turnover possession and a good wide attack, but the scramble defence and the courage of Ali McClay winning his side a penalty.
Well, Ali McClay won in 2004 playing outside centre, won in 2007 in the back row, went to Hong Kong for 5 years and then came back to Glasgow. Made a big impact in Hong Kong as well. As a throw it is not to the referee's satisfaction. I'll tell you what, Hawks will be delighted to get a scrum now. It's amazing how games, and you mentioned at the start of the half that Hawks would get their chance, they would get their possession. They've done so, they're certainly dominating the ball so far.
They are, and it's a 3-point game, you know, 13-10, obviously Heriots in front. It's very, very, very little in it, and an important match now, an important point in the match as well for somebody to take control of the game. You're looking at your leaders now, your captains, your 9s, your 10s to dictate the play.
Thrown that time by George Turner. Little hang on, Brendan coming in, just pulling at the side. The Heriots have turned, but it is George Turner who leads the charge at the base. Graham Wilson again. Oh, there's a chance for Nimmo. Russell Nimmo battering his way through. Heriots quick up in support. The ball rescued there. Comes through the hands of Carmichael. Laid off onto Jack Turley. This is Heriots' best attacking threat in the second half. Back out to Carmichael. Carmichael offloaded on to Murray Douglas. Murray Douglas gets it. There could be a chance. Bosu goes through. What a tackle. Well, Bosu was flying through and was upended. Here's the other winger now. It's Max Nimmo. Nimmo trying to go through. Now, all getting moved forward. Little ball off. Here's a chance. Michael Maltman going in. Maltman gets it away. Good handling. Be driven towards the line. Heriots, are they to be denied? Need to move the ball quickly. Oh, Carmichael was blocked. The ball still goes out wide. There's a chance if it can be moved. It's flicked out. It's taken on the far side. But Jack Steele, I beg your pardon, Liam Steele won't get there. What a passage of play, and then a bit of fisticuffs going on as well.
How did they have the energy for a scrap after that? You know, it's a fantastic play. Again, where Heriots, a strength in attack has been out wide, hasn't it, so far? And in the last 2 or 3 minutes, Graham Wilson dictating play. A lovely reverse pass up through the middle as you see Jack Turley going. And then watch this offload out the back of the door. Turner taking it on, and eventually there's actually a really good defensive decision from Tom Stephen on the left-hand side. There it is, he comes in. And he shuts down Carmichael so he can't get that pass away. But great attack from Heriots, this time up in the middle, close to the ruck and maul. The whistle had gone by the time that Steele reached out for the try line. And good defence by the Hawks. Important point in the match yet again. We're still looking for this, I suppose, crucial score at this crucial part of the game.
It's been a good cup final. It's been tight, intense. Heriots in the first half with the advantage. Hawks roaring back in the second. And the referee not happy with what he's seen. That's a little word.
I think that was just tiredness, in all honesty. I think the scrum kind of folded down as opposed to anything being illegal. But a good opportunity, good refereeing, you know, to get all 6 of the front row players in and just say, listen, you know, this is what I'm looking for. If there's any, you know, questions, ask me now. Players like that, players like a referee to be approachable, to tell you what's happening. There's no guarantee it's going to fix a problem, but no. It's good refereeing. Take the sting out of it. We've just had fisticuffs in the corner. Take the sting out of it. Get everyone back in control, and let's see some positive play.
Good play by the referee. Heriots will have the put in. Graham Wilson played for the Babas in 2012. Good cricketer too. Pops that one in. Can Heriots get this back? They've put a push on of their own. Picked up at the back by Jason Hill. They're going for the line, Heriots. Here they go again. Oh, they're close, about half a metre shy. Heriots trying to gather. You can see Graham Wilson going in there, battling for it. Gavin Cameron is just off him. The ball is just short. They could go over here. Now, have they touched it down?
They held up.
Well, the referee is just trying to clear everybody back. It looked to me like Craig Owenson came in there.
Jim,
but the referee is going to go, I think, to the
the
TMO.
try has been scored, yes or no?
So Craig Owenson
Yes, please.
tried to go in here. That's a big moment of the match, Chris.
Yeah, it is. And TMO Jim Newell, sitting not far from us, is going to have to make a decision. As you see Heriots piling the pressure on. Difficult to see from that angle. Brave defence from the Hawks. And Heriots knocking at the door. Does he get the ball down? It's hard to see the ball, isn't it?
It's hard to see. So the TMO, it's a difficult call he's got to make. Owenson was on the crash, he was ably supported. Just trying to see if the ball has been touched down.
Hey, wait. 4. Just relax a little bit, yeah?
You can see Owenson 18, Nimmo just behind him, and the scrum cap diving in and collapsing on. That's a good angle. That's a really good angle to see.
Thanks, Jim.
Depends whether he was over the line, isn't it? I mean, the courage, look at the courage from the players, throwing themselves in an inch from the line.
Well, the crowd are growing restless.
Okay, yes, Jim.
But they want to see the decision of the
Scrum
TMO.
No try.
No try. So no try awarded. I mean, we saw 3 or 4 angles of that, Chris. It was very difficult to see.
Very, very difficult, yeah. But sometimes you feel as if, you know, this great a celebration and pride in defending your line. You know, it was obviously inconclusive on the TV, but now the Hawks have to defend again. You know, the trouble out ain't clear. They have to defend again, and Heriots actually got the better of that last scrum. Whatever the referee said, they seemed to calm it and favour Heriots. They had the power coming through, and they've now won a penalty.
And they have indeed got that penalty. Well, the referee had explained to the front rows what he was looking for. Now, do you take the 3 points on offer?
Yeah, I think you take the opportunity. It's especially the way the game's gone, where, you know, there's been 10 unanswered points from the Hawks. Heriots haven't scored since probably midway through the first half or towards the end of the first half, so they'll take their time. Graham Wilson, as we've always said, knows how long. He has a minute to take the kick from where from when the penalty is given, and he'll use every single second of that to try and.
It's interesting, tracking back to the end of the first half, we had the kick to make it 16-0. You just wondered with the scoreboard not ticking over at that point. 13-10, you know, 16-10 if he was kicking for 19-10, they'd be comfortable. They'd be more than a, you know, converted try ahead. But
yeah, big swings. And obviously Jack Steele missed a couple early on, so they do tend to cancel each other out. But this is the most important one's the next one.
Greg Wilson steps up, kicks. Never really in doubt with that one.
Yeah, well done, Graham Wilson. Kept his cool. You know, his previous kick he missed just before half-time, and then that's obviously in the back of his mind. As most of the fans here, most of the players will probably forgotten about that. But you as a kicker, you know the last time you lined one up, you missed one. Go back to your principles, and he did well to pop it through the posts.
Last season final between Ayr and Melrose, separated just 3 points here, 28, Melrose 25. We're going to get similar excitement here. Oh, it's gifted away. Turnover ball, it was cheap. Just dropped that time by Tom Stephen. Carmichael sees that there's nobody home, right down the middle.
Clever kick.
Very good play, and of course it'll just run on this artificial surface. That's good tracking back on McPherson, knocking it out, but it was clever to spot it in the first place.
It was really clever by Rory Carmichael. They turned the ball over, and then he actually shaped the kick to the bottom right hand corner in the last minute. He turned his hips, he turned his body and put it up the middle. Macpherson had dropped back to cover the kick really well in the left wing for Hawks. Carmichael spotted that, turned his hips and put it right up the middle of the field, meaning that the Hawks have to put it out, and Heriots again have a chance to get their hands on the ball and dictate possession. Good decision, good execution.
Injury timeout on the field at the moment. Hawks player is down, so the players get a chance to have a little chat, take on some fluids. It is warm out there, and when you think Scottish rugby is normally played in the cold, the wind, the rain and the wet, it's nice to play in the sunshine, but you've got to make sure you take on all the liquids that you need.
It's certainly warm for 7:10. Sun's right in her face here, Paul. And 9 better.
It's a beautiful evening here, being entertained by a fine game of rugby and a good crowd at Broadwood. We've enjoyed Cup Finals day. And this one looks like it's going to go all the way to the wire. 12.5 minutes to play. Hawks trailing Heriots by 6 points.
The subject of the weather, Paul, we got it with the envy of the world. Murray Strang's watching the RBS final from Dubai. He goes on to say, I wish the weather here was half as good as it is in Broadwood.
I think that's the first time in history that somebody would rather be in Cumbernauld than Dubai. But hey,
and he predicts a tight finish, and he's quite right, isn't it? That kick from Wilson obviously took the Heriots guys 6 points ahead, taking on a converted try. So even if the Hawks did get a try, they'd still need that all-important conversion to go ahead. So an important kick in that respect as well, but it will be a tight finish.
Between two sides who meet for the third time this season, Heriots winning by 18 points to 13. Very, very tight game. Down at Glasgow Hawks at Old Anna's Land. And then a slightly more expansive game on the 1st of March. Hawks beating Heriots at Goldenacre 38-31. Heriots, who finished the league season with a loss at Hoyk. So they won 12 of 18 matches, finishing 4th. Glasgow Hawks finished on a high. They beat Aberdeen Grammar 20 points to 18. And then of course that semi-final victory at Gala, 33 points to 31.
Jack Turley coming back in the field. It was Tyrone Holmes, the number 7 for the Glasgow Hawks, who was receiving treatment. He's up back on his feet now. I think actually being replaced, but he's okay. A long injury break, but he's okay. He's coming off the field now, and back to the action with Heriots, looking to cement the place.
Jack McFarlane is standing by to come on for Hawks as Heriots try and come down the middle. Carmichael plays it across onto Liam Steele. Steele trying to come through. Nimmo was there. Heriots looked like they went in from the side. Play on, says the referee. Turley flicks the ball out, but it was crossing. Well, slightly confused signal from the referee from this angle. I thought he was saying that the Heriots players had crossed, but he was in fact penalising the defender.
Yeah. The signal now, it's changed, wasn't it? It looked like a crossing or a forward pass even signal.
Yeah.
And he's penalised Hawks for not rolling away. I don't think the rule of the tackler was on the deck. It looked more like an offload. So, but anyway, that's a decision, and this man we keep talking about kicking over important points in cup finals has the opportunity again, Graham Wilson.
And this to extend it to more than a converted try of a difference. Big moment in the match. It looks straightforward, and any cup final, any kick is far from it. Wilson steps up, plenty of height, plenty of accuracy, and another 3 points tagged on to Heriots, who now lead by 19 points to 10.
Yeah, good kick again from Graham Wilson. It's more of the same, isn't it? Very similar to the last one. Similar position, similar pressure, but he delivered it, kicked it over.
Now then, one of Glasgow Hawks got in their tank. Murray Douglas wins it. Oh, he's escaped too. Matarazek came and gathered, but the referee felt it had gone forward.
Yeah, difficult one again for the referee and the players. Murray Douglas takes that ball above his head, and then as he turns it, he barges into his own player. I don't know if it was George Turner, couldn't get out of the way. You know, not a deliberate infringement, but it was stopping the Hawks defenders get to him. So frustrating after such a wonderful take. A hard skill to do is to take the ball high above your head under pressure. Murray Douglas did that well. But the knock-on effect is that Hawks now have an opportunity to claw back that 9-point lead that the Heriots have at the moment.
So scrum down. The scrums have fluctuated in the second half. Glasgow winning the first one impressively. Heriots have held a couple of their own. It comes at the base. Andy Kirkman picks up, plays scrum half. It's a little high. It was a difficult one for Hill, as Hill came in there. Tried to take out Dan Smart. Again, accidental offside. Glasgow running into their own players. Well, it's going to be a scrum down to Heriots.
Yeah, it was good harring work for the scrum half. Wilson to get through, put pressure on Dan Smart and the other, his opposite number. But that actually came from a dominant scrum from Heriots there, Paul. You're right, they fluctuated in the second half. Maybe the replacements have made a difference, or an interpretation of what the referee's asking for. But you know, certainly there's a trend in modern rugby as well with the new laws regarding the striker, the hooker, that the team who doesn't put the ball in actually has an advantage. You've got 8 scrumming against 7 because the opposition hooker has to hook the ball. So quite often you see the non-feeding team in the ascendancy.
That time Heriots have held on, bursting through. Keith Buchan has been effective, made some good tackles as well. Heriots trying to put this final to bed. Ball on the far side, Max Nimmo breaking through. Here come Heriots again, getting there in number. One more score, you feel, would put it away for the Edinburgh side to win this trophy for the 3rd time in their history. Now it comes back, little work by Carmichael. Out wide it goes, Borsuz with a little spin, sends it on, Keith Buchan with a chance. He's taken out, and out of play it goes. Good defence of Glasgow Hawks. They needed to be there. That keeps them in the cup final.
Yeah, good tackle, wasn't it, by, you know, Had McPherson in the corner. The Heriots boys beginning to play a bit more structured again. You saw a loop play there in the back line, trying to free an extra man. It was actually George Turner, the number 7, who gave that little lovely loop pass back round to Carmichael. But again, credit to the Hawks defence. They're fighting hard, defending the line. And Jack McFarlane now throws in the reserve hooker who's came on with an important first line out throw for him.
Jack McFarlane, the former Greenock Wanderers hooker, is on in the action. That's a great throw. It was well taken too by Gus Hamilton, and now Dan Smart trying to sneak through the Heriots back line. Heriots will be delighted to try and keep them down there. But again, they concede the penalty.
And at the side that time, the referee's saying so.
It was right in front of the referee as well, so not the smartest piece of rugby we've seen. As the long kick brings the Hawks forward. It's engrossing with under 8 minutes to play. Hawks sending fewer players into the line out, trying to keep players in the midfield now. They have to be adventurous. They've won the ball, they need to move it wide. Bartasek, a big pole, and some pole axing of his own. He's a ferocious sight.
Powerful runner, isn't he?
And again, come the Hawks trying to come through the middle. They need to cross the try line. Dan Smart plays it one way, comes back the other. That might work to Heriots' advantage. It has done. It put them under pressure. Was Ali McClay had the ball knocked from his grasp. Some great running though. Here comes Jack Steele. What a runner he is. And the ball gets laid back. Fortunately, they've guddled it forward again. Well, it's been a problem, just not been able to hold on at the crucial moment.
It's desperation, isn't it, Paul? It's desperation. You know, there's only 6 minutes, 7 minutes left in the final. And Neil Hearn, who's part of the Scotland 7 squad, making some great yardage up the middle of the field. Powerful, dynamic. Plays for Scotland under 20s this year and played well for the Scotland under 20s. But then as the ball came back, it was just knocked on by Bartasek, number 19, who's had a big impact since coming on the field in the second half.
Yeah, off the bench he came. He was a little bit unlucky not to start the match. He started the semi-final, but had to give way for Tyrone Holmes. So the clock put on hold. It reads 73-19. And it's not a time to party for Heriots just yet. They have the advantage. The Glasgow Hawks have crossed the line once in the second half, trying to find another way through. It's been a busy old second half for the physios in the backroom teams, Chris.
It has been. Yeah, it's just the intensity and the speed that the game's been played at, the heat, obviously, and just the desire. You see the last-ditch tackle, straining every sinew in your body to defend or attack for your side, which is great to see. It's sometimes miserable the morning after when you're bashed up, but yeah, that's why you play this game. We all love for the camaraderie and prepare to spill blood for your teammates.
Put in by Graham Wilson, who's kicked well in the game, just missed the one. Picked up at the base by Jason Hill. Now Glasgow are up too early. And the penalty goes Heriots' way. It's getting to that point you've almost got to gamble on everything.
Yeah, I think that's what happened there as well. You know, Heriots actually had a reasonably controlled scrum there with the ball at the number 8 feet, Jason Hill, and the Hawks guys just went too early. They just broke off the scrum too early, trying to influence the game. And you know, Heriots now, we'll see the opposite. We'll see Graham Wilson take his time. We'll see them walk to the line out. Oh, that's if he misses. That's if he hits touch, which he does with a fantastic kick. I thought for a minute it's broken too early. But watch the Heriots guys here. They'll just take their time. They'll probably call to catch and drive the line out. Take up another 2 or 3 vital minutes off the clock.
Tom Stephen just undone by the cleverness of the kick. So on the 22. Just over 5 minutes to play. Heriots in the first final since 2009. Have the ball. Driving through the middle. Here come the Edinburgh side. Graham Wilson sends it out wide. Carmichael almost through. Battering in again goes Jack Turley, the captain. William Steele is engaged in trying to get the ball back. Blair Nimmo wanted it, but it comes to Michael Maltman. Maltman, Heriots who were denied a try at this end before are not going to be denied. Heriots go over the line, and Heriots will win the Scottish Cup in 2014.
We spoke about leaders, and it's Jack Turley. It's a Heriots captain that drives over the line for what will be the decisive score in this match. It was set up particularly well. Rory Carmichael taking the ball to the line, and then we had Maltman, a half-time substitution, fighting towards the line. Here he is here, that's Maltman with the ball in hands, and then just watch Jack Turley to get his timing right off the scrum half. I don't think anybody is going to stop Jack Turley, captain of Heriots. Sorry, that's Maltman. The next phase is Turley getting the ball and driving over. Nobody was going to stop him leading his charge. Right between the gaps, stretching, scoring for his side.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done. And this to put the icing upon it. There's Graham Wilson with the conversion. Wilson waits. Hawks, to their credit, try and charge it down. But the scoreboard will tell the story that there'll be celebrations in Golden Acre tonight.
And there will be celebrations at Golden Acre tonight. I think the bus trip home will be good, and they deserve it. You know, all the teams that have played here today have treated to 4 fantastic games, and thanks to all those who've been watching online and sending their tweets in. It really has been a pleasure to watch club rugby at its best, and you know, just really raising the standard to play in the RBS Finals day here at Broadwood.
And Heriots have won the penalty as well, so there's no let up for the Hawks. They are finding it difficult now.
If you thought Graham Wilson took a while over the last penalty kick to touch, just watch this ball.
I don't think he's in a great hurry somehow. Well, he goes for the kick to touch.
It's another beauty.
It's been a very entertaining contest as well, because Hawks did have that pressure in the second half where they really came at Heriots and, you know, got to within 3 points, to be fair.
Credit to Hawks, you know, especially the first half. They didn't have the ball, they couldn't, you know, influence the game at all. But Jamie Dempsey obviously said 1 or 2 things at half time that made them more direct, that took the ball, you know, ball carriers, and took them towards the Heriots guys. But then Heriots had to bounce back, didn't they? You know, 13-10, and they got control back of the game and have finished with 2, you know, amazing tries.
Inside it comes. Heriots continuing to press. Coming forward once more. They've got this cup final one. They just want to see it out. If they can get another score, all the better for them. But they'll be happy with what they've done so far. Pushing forward yet again. Down the far side it goes. Hawks desperately defending. Pick and go. Michael Maltman, what an impact he's had since coming on. Charging forward again. Here come Heriots, the clock. Less than 90 seconds to play. Hawks having to defend desperately.
Oh, good pass.
The pass goes out again. There's a chance. And Liam Steele goes in at the corner.
Fantastic try for Liam Steele, but take a bow. Heriots number 5, Murray Douglas. We spoke about how important he was in the line out in the dark arch of the scrum, the line of the forward play, but when we see this replay, his catch and pass under pressure to set Steele free to dive over in the corner was fantastic. See Graham Wilson dictating play. Again, Mortman helping drive forward. And at this point, Hawks can't get their hands on the ball. Look at the clear out. The ball's on a plate there for Wilson. Whips it out. Big Murray Douglas. Take, give. Steele diving over in the corner. Good score.
Well, it paints perhaps an unflattering picture for Glasgow Hawks, who at one point in the second half just trailed by 3 points. But it tells the story that Heriots are back in the big time in Scottish Cup terms for the first time since 2009. And Graham Wilson, if he just takes his time, the clock will tick onto 80. And he's just watching it count down. This will be the last kick of the match. He kicks for the posts. He doesn't get it, but that's the only minor disappointment for him. It's Heriots' afternoon. They've won it by 31 points to 10. And what an effort for the men from Golden Acre. Glasgow Hawks threatened at the start of the second half. They got back to within 3 points, Chris Patterson, but boy did Heriots respond well.
They did, didn't they? The favourites coming into the match and deserved winners in the end. They played a controlled game. Their decision makers were good. They had a good attack around the edges. They started attacking quite wide in the first half, then they brought it in tighter. Credit to Glasgow Hawks. They stuck with them. They fought hard. They've got the game back to 13-10, as you say, despite a couple of missed penalties early on. But deserved winners in Heriots. They showed a lot of control, and Jack Turley led from the front with ball in hands. Murray Douglas was exceptional in the second row. Jason Hill had a big game at number 8, and then the backs, well, they just worked well as a unit, didn't they? We had a lot of pace early on. A fantastic Harry Bosu try from 60 metres early on, 2 or 3 breaks from him. So a really well controlled, balanced performance, glittered with a wee bit stardust from Heriots. Deserved winners.
And Glasgow Hawks, well, they'll live to fight another day. And the disappointment, they got themselves back in, but couldn't see themselves past Heriots. Couple of penalties kicked by Graham Wilson, and then the tries arrived. But it's interesting, you always look to the replacements to see who comes on and makes a difference, and to me, Michael Maltman off the bench, and Liam Steele too. Yeah,
Michael Maltman's an integral part of the Scotland Sevens. He's playing obviously in competition at the moment. They've just finished, played at Melrose last week actually, but just been in Hong Kong and Japan, and then next weekend, 2 weekends time, 3rd and 4th of May, he'll be at Glasgow at Scotland Stadium playing in the World Series for Scotland. So it's good to see him on form for that. But he did make a difference. He was strong in contact, wasn't he? He made yards. He helped his teammates make yards. And I think for the Hawks as well, for the Glasgow Hawks guys, it's an important part of their development. You mentioned that they just promoted last year from a Division 2. And they'll be proud of the season they've had. Disappointed with the result at the end of the day today, but they're proud to come in and fight through, to give a really disciplined and hard-fought opponents for Heriots. You see Heriots there having their huddle. Phil Smith, the captain, the coach, he'll be absolutely delighted with what's happened there this afternoon.
So Phil Smith has been delighted. We'll just have a look at the last couple of tries, because they were exceptionally good from Heriots, and this is what made the difference.
Yeah, see, there's Murray Douglas. We've mentioned him time and time. Look how hard he's fighting to go forward, and this is Wilson hitting, I think it's Maltman this time. There he is. You see how he just feints out to the right, takes his body weight away from the defender. The defender can't make a dominant tackle, and then Turley, he gets his timing right, squeezes between the gap, drives over. Look at Graham Wilson celebrating that. I think a lot of people when they watch rugby think, it's about men running into men. It's not. It's about running at space. And 2 things subtle there. Maltman just attacks the outside shoulder of the defender, and then if you watch Turley, if you catch it here, he actually aims at the space between the defenders, not going towards the man, between the defenders, and getting a score. Well done.
That was clever rugby, and then the last try, just put the final bow on it beautifully inside. Maltman again, what a difference he made, battling forward.
Yeah, and Wilson, we saw the brawn with Douglas, and there's the skill, there's the They're lovely to upon, and well done to Steele holding his width. It's so easy to come in, try and get your hands on the ball, but that's your reward for filling the field, for holding your width, trying the corner in the RBS Cup final.
Yeah, it was beautifully done, and Heriots were already celebrating. Graham Lowe is down pitch side. He's with Harry Bossy. What a try he scored.
Afternoon, folks. I'm joined now by Heriots left wing Harry Bosso, named as today's RBS man of the match. Harry, the try you scored in the first half, a pretty special try to set you on your way.
Yeah, a bit of credit to Colin Gowdy, my colleague, who he did more of the work. I just finished it off, but yeah, really happy to get a bit of meat in the final.
And in terms of what this means to Heriots, I mean, you've obviously won the cup before, but to win this season, especially after Hawks had turned you over in that league game at the tail end of the season, must be a pretty special day for you.
Yeah, we'd won one, they'd won one, but we felt pretty confident, and we got not to give the league a better shout, and just really happy to get the win, especially on this surface as well. It kind of suited us, it was quick, and the boys are over the moon. Looking forward to tonight.
Good man, Harry, well done, congratulations. And back to Paul.
Thank you very much indeed, Graham. Harry Bosu did really well in the game. He was terrific. Well, the presentation just being prepared at the moment. Well, it's moments like this. You just wait to get your hands on the trophy, and for Glasgow Hawks, you pretty much want to just get inside, Chris. You've had enough. You've lost on the day. You've said well done to your opponents, but you just want to get moving. But Harry Bosu will get his man of the match award.
It's the contrasting emotions there. You see, look at the body language of the Heriots players and the Hawks players. You're right, the Hawks players have given everything. They've given all they had and did wonderfully well to come back into the match. But they just want to get away. They just want to in this circumstance, always wanted to get back in the field. They just wanted to play the next game. And unfortunately, at this end of the season, you've got a long wait before you play again. But they will be proud of what they achieved to get to the final, that huge victory against Gala in the semi, and beating Ayr in the quarter final. But the next few minutes is about Heriots. It's about their domination, really, of the cup and winning the cup. See Harry Bossy there, big smiles. Graham Wilson, who I thought was fantastic as well, giving him a pat on the back. Close-knit unit, the Heriots boys. And as you said before, they will party hard tonight.
Graham Lowe is pitch side with the winning coach.
Joined now by winning Heriots coach Phil Smith. Phil, pretty special day for the club.
It is. Cup final day is always a great day because it gives you extends your season and the club gets excited, Scottish Rugby gets excited, and the conditions were perfect, the venue was perfect, and obviously the result was good for us.
We were just saying to Harry there, the league game at the tail end of the season, which went either way, it really was a good finish for you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that was a tough day because we didn't defend for 40 minutes in the Hawks, so we knew they had a threat all over the park, and that was something we were aware of. We started quite well, and then we had that dip in the first 10 minutes of the second half, but thankfully we kind of got back on track, and I think we finished really well.
Thanks a lot, Phil, and back to Paul.
Thank you, Graham. The winning coach is happy. He's won it before with Heriots, but he wins it again, and it's a sweet, sweet evening for Heriots as the Glasgow Hawks players receive their runners-up medals, a memento that they might not look too fondly upon right at this moment, but it'll be something to have in years to come. Good applause from the Heriots players for them. But Heriots, you can hear their fans starting to celebrate and starting to get ready. And the Glasgow Hawks warmly applauded round the stadium, and quite rightly too. They played their part in a final. And the scoreline a little bit harsh on them perhaps, is the match officials, who handled the game pretty well, come through. Referee spoke well to the players, and always relieved. Referees don't want to be the centre of any attention after a final, and that's certainly not the case. But Heriots starting to line up. The cup is coming their way. It's coming back to Golden Acre, and it's a big moment after a long, hard season. They came through Pool 3 in the Edinburgh region. They then had a semi-final in the Edinburgh section against Boroughmuir. They won 21-19. They defeated Curry in the final to come into the last 8. They downed Melrose at Melrose. They won at Aberdeen Grammar. And today it's Glasgow Hawks who are defeated. Warm handshakes all round. Cammy Ferguson leading across. The medal round the neck of Rory Carmichael. And a part he played. George Turner too. And a handshake all round. You can see the height there of Murray Douglas. And as Chris Patterson said, probably the pass of the game, the little flick out for the final score.
You mentioned there the run they've had to this point, Paul, and they've only had one home game. They've done the whole thing, bar one home tie against Stu Smelville, away from home, which is very difficult. They've gone down to Gala. The Hawks went down to Gala. Heriots went up to Aberdeen, which is a hard place to go and win as well. All that away from home, that shows you how tight the spirit is and how much they want to fight for it for each other.
Well, this famous old club are about to get their hands on the Scottish Rugby Union trophy. And here it comes. They're getting ready for the pictures you'll see in the papers and online. The last man up, Jack Turley, the captain, gets a word of applause. And there he is. He'll be asked to come to the front to gather the trophy, which will come his way. Great scenes at Cumbernauld. The winners of the RBS Cup 2013-2014. Heriots Rugby Club. The captain, Jack Turley, holds the trophy aloft.
6 games, 6 winners. Heriots, Murrayfield Wanderers, Cartha Queen's Park, Broughton, Highland and Preston Lodge. The runners-up today, Glasgow Hawks, Melrose, Caithness, Ayr, Glenrothes and Watsonians. My thanks to our commentators Bill Johnson and Paul Mitchell, summarisers Chris Patterson, Lindsay Smith and Colin Gregor. The coverage was produced by Jack McGill, directed by Seth Edwards, and a big thanks to the rest of the guys in the Quipu Sports production team. They won't be wanting to see a camera for the next few days, that's for sure. Thanks to you, the viewer, for whatever in the world you're watching. I'm Jim Mason, and this has been a Scottish Rugby TV production from Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld. It's good night.
Thank you.